But yeah, that was kind of insane when Thorin said that, like Lycan, he invited Thorin to this talk show, right? And they added him to the Skype call, and then just they were talking about, you know, pre-show stuff, like what you're about to do, like going on the questions and stuff. And then later, Thorin found out that that was the talk show. Like they were actually live during the intro. And he it was like, I don't think he said anything that was like terrible, but it could have very likely been that he said something like awful that was not meant for public, and then it would have been fucked, you know. So that's the story between Thorin and Lycan. So basically, he's never gonna come back on another Lycan show, understandably so. But yeah, I kinda recommend you to watch it if you care about that shit at all. He also talked about like Lycan. He went to a Counter-Strike event once, and he was talking to Richard Lewis and Thorin. And they were talking about this, all this like confidential behind-the-scenes stuff in Counter-Strike, and then like months, and they mentioned to Lycan that it was like confidential information, right? And months later, he found out that Lycan apparently said stuff like this, like open to the public on Twitter and stuff like that, like it was nothing. that was pretty hilarious, man. I don't know what to think of it. I think that Lycan has good intentions, but like he seems to be a little bit dumb when like he's not experienced. He doesn't quite understand this. It was probably the first time he ever dealt with like high profiles such as that. It was just very, very cute overall. To think that you could just that he didn't realize that you might say things that are not meant for the public, and in esports especially, there's so much fucking shit going on behind the scenes that you don't want anybody to know, and you don't tell anybody. Like there's so fucking many things going on like that. So that's I just wanted to share that with you, Theo.
This is why I purposely throw my games in tournaments, so that I would never join this ridiculously toxic scene behind the esports scene. That's the reason why.
Yeah, that was
people will probably get things on me that I would have to suicide over if got gone public. There's stuff like that would happen, you know.
I don't think you ever told me anything that would be like destructive if the public knew about it.
Maybe I have, but you just don't know yet.
No, like we've done nothing but like we talk shit about Blizzard, but we do that in openly, and we talk shit about some players, and we do that openly as well. So I don't think there's like any like secret agendas or big things that we have going on that must not go public, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Like, still, it's a thought. You know, you never know when people that Rifkin, he starts recording you when you're at your hotel room. Like he has like a secret balcony. He starts recording you. And
yeah,
then
exactly. That doesn't let you know where anything is. Uploads that shit, and you're like.
And then he refuses you to. And then if you refuse him to cast your game, he will be like, "If you don't let me cast this game, I swear I will ruin your life." No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I just remember that he had like a thread where he felt that he was treated unfairly, and that he said that he had like a folder of tons of
I remember that. Yeah, that's.
But then he deleted it, and that's kind of nice of him, I suppose.
You know what's funny is that he, like, I have the idea that he just made all of that up. Like you never quite know a person. Like, what if he just made that up? Like, I don't know Rifkin enough to say that he's not a liar or whatever. Like, even though I don't think he's a liar. I'm not a naive idiot who just believes anything, you know. So what if he's just playing, you know, the community card and just wants to gather the fucking circle jerk around him and say that, oh well, I'm not gonna do that, I'm not doing that shit anymore. And they just completely made everything up to make people think that, oh wow, Rifkin is such a cool guy, you know. It is very possible. I'm not saying that's the case, but it's very possible that is.
I get your point.
That we could.
But yeah, like all the Thorin and stuff. Like I don't really feel like Thorin is associated with StarCraft 2 in any way, and And this kind of drama, I mean, I watched a little bit of it just to get a context. Was there anything important? No, it just seems like there was some drama about Thorin thinking that it's a disaster that Koreans can't play in a foreign tournament, and then there's all the Code A players or whatever, they can't make a living. Okay, just kind of wrong things, right?
Yeah.
And then I just thought, nah, this is not super interesting to me. Of course, if there was a lot of drama, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna see it. It's also like a very long, like an hour-long video. But right now, right now, I feel like what's most interesting to me right now is what's gonna happen to the maps, because we have a new season next soon, and the map contest and stuff like that. I know the maps will be the same, but there's talks about changing the maps. That's what's most interesting to me right now in terms of what's happening in StarCraft.
Yeah, yeah.
So
but the thing that got me involved in the Thorin stuff, like I just find them incredibly entertaining to listen to as well. So it's not that all the juicy drama. Like I simply enjoy listening to Richard Lewis. Like
I would probably enjoy it too. Honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wouldn't enjoy it. I just happen to have things otherwise that I find problematic to have time for. And it's kind of spontaneous. Like if I happen to watch it, maybe I'll do it after the stream or in 10 minutes. I don't know. I will probably find it entertaining, right?
Yeah.
So I will probably watch it if it happens.
Yeah. Another thing to that is like that. Like even if you don't think that they can't provide any like good information or good insight about it, WCS. That they haven't been involved. The fact still remains that these are very, relevant people. Like their opinions is gonna, like these opinions are gonna be passed on to like Counter-Strike community or whatever. Like it is relevant whether you like it or not that Thorin actually thinks well of StarCraft 2 and it doesn't say that it's a shit game and so on. Just simply because other people care about what he thinks.
Oh my fucking god that you didn't kill that Marine, that makes me so sad.
Oh, I didn't? I was so sure I did.
It's because you two-shot it, but it requires 3 shots, right?
Oh, right. Oh my god.
Wow. You're probably used to all...
Yeah, I was playing like a robot, fuck.
That's so sad. And that's alright, you've been talking for... You're right, that's not what I mean with that. I don't think Thorin is associated. Like, he's spreading stuff about StarCraft to other people, and then we get this situation with the CSGO stream saying StarCraft is a shit esport, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I understand. But what I meant when I said that I don't think he's associated is that his opinion, I mean, okay, that's obviously, like, he is associated, but it's not something I find useful to me, and I would watch it if I want to get entertained, but also it's also a bit sad, the story, right? Like with these people saying these things. So, I mean, like I said, if I happen to watch it, I'll probably find it entertaining. We'll see.
I mean, that's all there is to it, really. It's just entertainment.
So,
but yeah, it wasn't just that they talked about WCS. Like they were actually just openly trash talking community figures.
Oh.
Like Richard Lewis, he brought up like fucking Artosis story. Like, not completely out of the blue, but kinda. I mean, he was drunk, so... And I just find that to be very, very amusing and relevant for my ears to hear.
I understand.
Or when I was listening to the Thorin thing, like they were talking about ESPN shit, like the fucking article. And like all these StarCraft personalities were trash talking the article on the ESPN apparently just because the tweet was incredibly like offensive or whatever or inaccurate. I wasn't involved myself what it actually was, but the interesting part about that was that these personalities in the StarCraft 2 community, they didn't actually read the article. If they did, they would have known that the tweet and the article itself was completely independent. It was different people who worked on them. So they were offended by the tweet, and then they didn't read the article, and then they talked shit about the guy who wrote the article. And then later he called them out on it, like the Thorin called out the personalities on it. And then some of them wouldn't admit. Apparently Nathanius was just openly lying to him. And those are the kind of things that he said on his like Thorin thoughts, and that's just what I find really entertaining.
It's just I mean, you can call it journalism, but is it really?
Yeah, it's like exactly like it's like I said, like I think half of his career is like real content that you call it like actual journalism, and the rest of it is just like esport bullshit that every other personality around this is doing. Like fucking the way to get relevant and famous and make money is by just being a kid, you know. I just realized we're 7 minutes in. I don't have a mothership core. That's how useless this unit is.
For better or for worse, right?
Yeah. I just played incredibly greedy overall. This guy is making pure marine. That's interesting. But yeah, that's the stuff I'm thinking about here. Like, what if I just one day woke up and just said, alright, let's be a pretentious fucking two-faced idiot, like many other people are, and just get everybody to love me, and I can just play the same game that everybody else is doing, and I would just instantly, maybe not instantly, but I would at least become relevant, for the better or for the worse. It's very easy to take that route, you know. Whereas it is very hard to take the route of that you want to be a legit personality that people actually enjoy listening to.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't claim to be any, like, I completely understand. There's plenty of those things that I can find entertaining too. I just don't think I have the same history about Tosis. I don't know, to feel that people trash talking and just spreading and then just revealing how the scene is. But you know, if I watch it, I will see. But I understand, completely understand. But on other notes, this picture that Mastermind just uploaded, that's just funny. That's what I think is funny. Did you just defend a Liberator push while talking with me? Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just playing like a god while casually talking to you, yes. I just played the whole fucking game perfectly, and I have no idea how, but...
It's like God mode. You can just absolutely only think about talking with me, like it was an actual discussion. While not thinking about the game whatsoever, but there's this robotic mind of yours that does it for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the beautiful thing about like when you practice some fucking stuff like this, and eventually you can just do it without even thinking about it. It's so beautiful. I think I'm gonna die to drops now. Alright, we're good.
So it's a picture that Mastermind, where he went to David Kim's Facebook and under his favorites, you know, and then under games there's Hearthstone and nothing else.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Oh, it's just that Mastermind took a picture of David Kim's favorites on Facebook and it says Hearthstone as game. That's interesting. All of these rumors, people are spreading that there's no SE2 team or they are from the Hearthstone team. Nah, and I think the proof to me is actually the work they put into the campaign, the music and stuff. I actually think that's proof alone that the StarCraft 2 team is actually pretty great. Of course, people can have their opinions about balance. You know, the recent update with the maps. They want unique maps. They want maps with 1-2 traits. We already talked about this, as you know, Morrow. But I don't get this opinion that Blizzard is trash because the maps could be much better. I think there are ways to go about the system that Blizzard wants with 1-2 maps that we can improve. Namely, if we make Pirate's Race natural or gold, if we fix Level Crest by putting rocks at the third, if we... For Central Protocol it's difficult, but if we removed vertical spawns on Central Protocol to allow for third base, all of these things, and for future maps, considering these rules, could make what Blizzard wants work, right? But I'm absolutely with this public pro opinion that there are maps out there, you mentioned King's Return Station, that basically just remain permanent because they allow for so many beautiful things in the game, right? Instead of forcing. So I think it's unfair to perhaps have the stance of Blizzard that they're just, you know, stupid. But I think they're wrong. I think it's true that they're wrong about this way of defining diversity for map diversity is the best way. Like I think we concluded, map diversity should come through personal preference, different styles on the same map, which creates the diversity, right? Plus you can play standard if that's how you wish to play, rather than having maps forcing the same things. By the way, you're still playing pretty well here. How the fuck are you doing this? Jesus.
It's a mystery. I think this guy is just not very good. I think that's probably.
Nah, I don't know. I think you're playing well.
Oh, thank you.
You should keep talking while playing. That's the only way you can play good. But yeah, that's actually, I don't know. People, they seem to be a bit discouraged with the new maps and what Blizzard have said. I actually got pretty happy when they made a post about changing, possibly, likely changing the maps. Even though they will remain the same maps, the same names for next season, but if they're changed, they would be completely new maps, right? I actually think that's good news. I am very happy that they're willing to do that, as opposed to what we otherwise could have expected, maybe, right? So, but yeah, we've had this discussion before, but I also like the point that you had about. You know, the maps being permanent and that they constantly evolve, you know. Like I said, League of Legends, CSGO, they have the same maps for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Guys, it's like when I played Brood War, it was never about, you know, you didn't get bored of maps. Like, that was not a thing.
Oh yeah, like the fighting spirit in those maps, aren't they like 10 years old?
I'm not sure how old they are, but it's just like the maps are pretty much timeless. Like, you can play a map for like fucking 3 months. Like, you could pretty much play 3 different maps for 3 months. Maybe then you get bored because you're. But then, after 1 month, like, you can play that map again and do it all over again. Like it's not like you just figure the map out and that is boring, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But there's also the other things that one thing is that people can constantly get better. So the maps will eventually change through the developing metagames like skill. Plus, there can be balance patches, right? Or new additions to the game, expansions, etc., etc. Like you said, we could go back to any map we've had before, and it would be a completely different experience because we have Legacy of the Void, right? So that's a key point. Well, anyway, it's the David Kim, he talked about putting rocks instead of destructible rocks, collapsible rocks on literally crest of the third base, so that they are, you know, underground per default, which would mean there's only one entrance in that map, which would of course help a protoss player as much as it would help Terran, etc., etc. So. Apparently there's a viewer, Morrow, who's figured your title out. I haven't figured out yet. Can you?
No, I'm just taking a jab at other people who make positive titles to attract casuals. You know how you write like fucking Surge School, come learn StarCraft, smiley face.
Okay, fair
so
enough.
now I'm just being a general asshole to those kind of people.
We need assholes in this community as well. Yeah.
The funny thing, like, I can be an asshole how much I want and nobody cares. That's the beautiful part.
I like your bank, by the way, but I'm not blaming you.
I don't even look at my money in late game. Like, it's what does it matter really? It's not like I suddenly wanna do build 50 gateways.
I see.
Like the bases run out of money, so. But I've noticed this in your games too, Theo. You get a shit ton of money too, without really caring about it.
I actually think I get a shit ton. I actually think for the most part I get a shit ton of minerals, right? I actually think I run out of gas quite a lot. Except when it's like late game PvC and I only build pilots and cannons and then I have like 6,000 gas. I don't know how much I pay attention to it. Actually, I think you're right. But it's still fun to point out a bank, right? Just to make people look worse and feel worse about themselves, right?
Yeah, that's what the casual does. Because he doesn't like actually understand the game or how fast I'm playing, so he's just looking at my money, you know? Because he can relate to that, he can understand what that means.
Yeah, that's just what I did. I pointed out your bank because I'm a retard. That's just to clarify in the chat. That's what I did it. Maybe it was just to prove a point that MorroW just explained perfectly to you. How like I actually think, guys, if you ask MorroW what he did this game, I actually don't think he would remember. I actually don't think MorroW he remember where he puts his buildings and stuff.
So a complete robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I like playing the game, man. Without using my brain.